Chelsea, sit back, strap yourselves in. Drama always guaranteed on a European night in the East End of Glasgow. It's Celtic against RB Leipzig in the Champions League with James McFadden, Pat Nevin and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks very much, Kenny. Huge honour as always to be part of these occasions. Welcome to Celtic Park for another huge evening of Champions League football as Brendan Rodgers' side aim to back up a solidly impressive performance in Bergamo with another mature display at this elite level in the continued quest for a place in the knockout phase of the competition. Fireworks parties across the city tonight, but there will be surely no greater spectacle than what unfolds here over the next couple of hours as Celtic pit their wits against another of Europe's top teams. A win tonight would be a third in a row at home, something they haven't managed in the Champions League for 17 years. You don't have to go back nearly as far for the most recent opportunity to compare these sides. Just 2 years ago, with Marco Rose just having taken over, he guided RB Leipzig to 2 wins in a week, 3-1 in Leipzig before a 2-0 win here. Celtic did beat Leipzig in 2018 in the Europa League, and they very much hope to repeat that outcome this evening. As the guys have been describing, just a magnificent atmosphere as always on these occasions inside Celtic Park, absolutely packed to the rafters with the pocket of RB Leipzig fans across to our right hand side in the corner. But they will be drowned out for the most part, you would imagine, by the phenomenal home crowd who want their side to continue to grow in this competition. A chastening night, of course, in Dortmund, but very much had learned from that in the last outing against Atalanta, and that goalless draw by Leverkusen for their part, as we've been hearing. Pointless so far in the Champions League, despite a terrific start to the domestic campaign, losing just for the first time in the league at the weekend. That was 2-1 in Dortmund, which most Celtic fans, I guess, would consider to be a pretty impressive result given their own experience there. But I watched that one and it could have been more, and RB Leipzig were not entirely convincing. We are going to have a moment of reflection before kick-off here to pay respects to those who have lost their lives recently in the horrendous floods in Spain, principally in the Valencia region. A message to the German fans as well, but there will be a moment to remember those who have lost their lives. Largely respectful silence for those who died in the Spanish floods in the last week, as the French officials get us ready to get going here. Both sides going into a huddle pre-kick-off as Benoit Bastin of France stands ready to get us underway here. It will be Celtic in their green and white hoops, white shorts, white socks, going from left to right as we look at it from our position in the main stand. RB Leipzig in a change kit, rather darkish grey top, shorts and socks, and it will be the away side to get us underway here, and that's us off and running as RB Leipzig knocked the ball long It's an early test for the Celtic backman, Cameron Carter-Vickers. Can't properly get his lines clear, but then Callum McGregor bowled over there by Benjamin Šeško, already showing he's going to be putting himself about there. A big brute of a man, 21-year-old Slovenian, but he certainly knows the way to go. He scored a cracking goal actually against Borussia Dortmund at the weekend to put his side ahead, as Austin Trusty now plays it out to the left-hand side, and Greg Taylor rolls it forward over the halfway line for Rio Hatate. Hatate sliding it forward into Maida. Maida into the box. Gets a shot there for Engels. Cleared as far as Hatate. It was blocked well at the near post as Engels is almost in there. And now in the transition, it's danger for Celtic as Leipzig come forward. It's an opportunity from the edge of the box, and that one's blocked away, and the final effort is dived upon by Kasper Schmeichel. End to end in the opening couple of minutes. I think we already know this one is not going to be a pragmatic approach from either side.
Absolutely not. I think that, you know, Celtic, we know they like to build for the back, play through the thirds and try and, you know, release their wide men with speed, which they've done brilliantly there. RB Leipzig want to press you, and Celtic done really well to get beyond the press. Hatate's positioning outstanding just behind the midfield two that sit, but then they show their pace and their strength and the counter attack straight up the other end of the pitch and get a block in it on the shot. And I think that might be a theme of what we're going to see, and if it is, it'll be great excitement, but it just means you have to take a chance when you go forward.
Hatate picks up on the edge of his box after cool play from Callum McGregor, and now it's Alistair Johnston back in field to Hatate. Hatate just inside his own half, looks forward and then looks back the way to Carter-Vickers, who picks up possession and then slides it forward to Callum McGregor, playing his 98th match in Europe for Celtic, back against Aberdeen, having missed a couple following that Atalanta game, as Maida flicks it down the left-hand side for Taylor to move on to. 30 yards from the corner flag, rolls it back to McGregor, midway inside his own half, plays it back the way to Carter-Vickers at the edge of the centre circle. 0-0 in the opening couple of minutes here at Celtic Park. First touch for Kuhn on the right-hand side. Gets it in for Johnston. Johnston has his pocket picked there by Nusa, and the Canadian fouling Nusa as he robbed him there, and the free kick goes RB Leipzig's way. And free kick about 35 yards from their goal. Pat Nevin, your thoughts on the opening exchanges?
Similar to Fardy, look, really high tempo from both teams. Both teams actually want to press high, so you're going to get chances here. Celtic played through that press really well. Well done, Celtic. But when you do that, you only need to make a mess of it once. So high stakes here, but both teams look to be going for it.
Here's Heinrichs playing at left back here, the German international. David Raum, the first choice left back, is one of a number of top team stars who are out injured. That's knocked down the field. Cameron Carter-Vickers will just see that out of play, and it's going to be a Celtic throw-in on their right-hand side to be taken by Alistair Johnston. And the Celtic fans getting right behind their side as Engels picks up. Had that early opportunity, was well blocked in the end. As Trusty has it. Trusty getting the nod ahead of Liam Scales at left centre back. It's a big call from Brendan Rodgers. It's a tough call. A lot of people will feel massive amount of sympathy for Liam Scales, because he has never let Celtic down, and all the time he's been in that position. But Austin Trusty was signed for a reason, presumably to try and improve the starting 11, and he's in alongside Carter-Vickers tonight. Here's Kuhn, who's certainly improved. Here's in on the left-hand side, in for Kyogo, and it's over the top of the crossbar. It's a good intervention from Orban, and it had to be because Kyogo had just drifted off the back of him. He's behind for a Celtic corner.
So close as well. Great play from Kuhn, great play all round from Celtic, really composed, forward passing, waiting for that opening. Comes to Kuhn, switches on to the left. He's just trying to shape it towards that back post. Kyogo's, you know, his movement's outstanding, and Orban had to be at full stretch to get the clearance in.
Engels right hand side in with the corner kick, but the referee wagging his finger at someone and wants a word just to say no more of that before the corner comes in. It's Cameron Carter-Vickers, who's a Celtic player, but also I think Bichiabu, the towering French centre back, as Engels right-footed then plays it short back the way to Kuhn on the angle of the box. Then he lays it to Callum McGregor. McGregor out to Hattati, but 35 from goal, clips it in towards the back post, out of play. A Celtic player in the shape of Engels hits the deck, claiming he was impeded in there. The referee saw nothing amiss, nor did I have to say. And it's behind for a goal kick. Celtic 0, Leipzig 0, 5 minutes in. Pat Nevin.
Do you know one of the things that we were talking about beforehand, us Celtic going to sit back? Is it going to be an Atalanta? No chance, absolutely not a hope. But the only time that will happen is if they get pressed back. That is not the game plan at all. This is Celtic home game, expecting to go and win it in the front foot.
Yeah, and they're pressing RB Leipzig very high here, but Leipzig themselves are no strangers to that, able to play around it. But Callum McGregor's worked hard to win it back from Nusa. Terrific play from the Celtic skipper, who, reading before the start of all today's matches, had covered more ground than absolutely anyone else in the Champions League. And it's just quite a phenomenal statistic. And he certainly makes the most of that, the work that he does in there, winning the ball back in terrific positions at times for Celtic. As Carter Vickers picks up midway inside his own half, plays it square to Trusty. He's closed down but plays it forward for Hattati. Hattati quickly challenged and challenged well. And here's the first sign really for Openda to have a look at goal. He tries a shot which is very ambitious from distance, breaks back the way to Haidara, Mali international. Now it's Campbell, 34-year-old, also in the heart of the midfield, out to the left-hand side where Heinrichs has it. Steps away from Kuhn, his countryman, and then tries to play the ball into the box. It's charged down by Engels, flicked on though on that right-hand side as RB Leipzig pick up once more through Haidara. Back the way now to Willi Orban, Hungarian centre-back, captain of RB Leipzig. Here's Campbell again once more in the left channel, midway inside the Celtic half, out to the left for Nusa, the tall, rangy Norwegian teenager playing on the left-hand side tonight. Campbell once more picks up from him. Back with Bitshiabu, plays it square to Orban, just a few yards inside Celtic territory as RB Leipzig just probe for an opening here. Haidara back out to the right-hand side and then clipped forward by Gertruda. Celtic have cut it out though, and Engels gets it to Taylor. It's a player down, I think it's Trusty just inside his own penalty area.
That does not look good. That doesn't look good for me. The way some players go down in certain ways, they don't move. He's not wanted to move at all there. He's really quite concerned about what he's done.
Didn't seem to be any particular contact.
I think he's landed badly. He's landed badly. I think it's his left ankle, left knee, the way he went down. No one near him. And if you go down, there's nobody actually kicked you or went near you, and then don't move. Your left leg, it's left ankle that we're hearing there. That's what I kind of thought it was. So sometimes you can rock that and it feels horrible, and then you can run it off, but he's got a fright anyway.
Yeah, sometimes when you feel, whether it's particularly your ankle, it's different with your knee because you always worry when it becomes your knee, but if you rock it, your instinct's to get up and try and run it off and say it's all right. But if it's something, you know, more serious, then as you say, Pat, you're spot on. You don't want to move. You're scared to move anything. Just wait for the physio to come on. Hopefully he'll tell you you're okay. But it is that panic that you feel initially.
Yeah, you're not sure about it. I mean, one of the things you need to know about football players, see if you see somebody rolling about on the ground, he's all right. He'll be fine.
He's limping very heavily now. He's back on his feet as he's helped off across on that far side. Hopefully it is something he can just gently jog off and he'll be okay to resume. Of course, Liam Scales is a natural replacement ready, but Celtic don't want to have to make a change after just 9 minutes. Goalless minutes as the ball is dropped at the feet of Kasper Schmeichel, and he'll be able to resume. The referee waving Trusty back on, and he jogs back on looking a fair bit more comfortable, so hopefully that is just a momentary shock to the ankle and something that won't bother him for the rest of the evening, as Johnston will take the throw-in now on the right-hand side, just inside the RB Leipzig half. Back the way it goes to Cameron Carter-Vickers, plays it to Trusty. Here's the first test then of that ankle. He just rocked it again, and now he's been given it back by Taylor. Didn't look entirely comfortable. No, he's
struggling.
He is struggling, isn't he?
He's played 2 side-footed passes where you have to open the ankle up. One out to Taylor, the next one to Carter Vickers, and on both occasions he's limping straight after it.
Here comes Celtic though, right hand side. It's Nicholas Kuhn up against Henriks, coming back inside. Good challenge by Campbell, helped out by Henriks, who's then fouled by Kuhn, and it will be a free kick to RB Leipzig as Trusty continues to just try and walk that ankle knock off. Brendan Rodgers keeping a close eye on him.
Sometimes you get it where there's certain things, most things are fine, running, change of direction. Some things then are really sore, and in this case it looks like Trusty, when he opens that up and puts the pressure through the pass, he keeps trying to test it and run it off, but if it's sore, sometimes it doesn't go away. He's either going to just have to try and get through it or stop playing it with the side foot.
Yeah, he threw Šeško out the way in no uncertain terms to beat him to the ball just a moment ago. Now here's Nicholas Kuhn trying to come forward as well, gets it to Engels. Engels through the legs of Campbell, right hand side, back with Kuhn now on the Celtic right, plays it with the outside of his left boot in towards the edge of the penalty area. Kyogo couldn't get there, but it's not forward once more from Engels. Bitshabu taking a chance, he's robbed of possession, but he's fouled in the process by a combination of Maida and Kyogo. The Celtic fans didn't believe so. The assistant flagged immediately to say it was a free kick, but certainly, Pat, I mean, you pinpointed 19-year-old Bitshabu as the one that Celtic need to try and test him out early on.
That's exactly what I wanted to happen, and I think Kyogo's tried to do that. He's so tall. They say he's 6'5", I think he's more than that. So he's not going to have an easy turning circle. So a player like Kyogo against him, he's going to have to get around him, ask some questions. He's a confident player on the ball, but he only needs to be caught once.
It's the speed, you know, he's taking the touch there and he thinks he's got loads of time. Kyogo gets, you know, the foul given against him, but Maida's right beside him. So I know that he's probably used to, with his size, just swatting people away and holding them off and controlling how long he takes the ball. I'll tell you, with those two, he won't get a second.
Yep, that's for sure. Here's Trusty out on the left-hand side, gets it to Taylor. Taylor for McGregor. And once more with the full-back Taylor, who's barged to the ground there by Baumgartner. Free kick Celtic's way, about 10 yards inside their own half. We've played 12 and a half minutes here. You listen to us live on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland and Sports Extra and 5 Live. No goals at Celtic Park between Celtic and RB Leipzig. Lively enough opening to the game as Johnston tries to feed it forward for Kyogo. Bitshabu read that one, just hoiks it out of play, and then a Celtic throw in about 25 yards from the corner flag. Backed away from Johnston to Carter Vickers, quickly closed down there by Openda, and all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel, who's just outside his own penalty area. Now Trusty just looks that bit more comfortable in the last couple of minutes following the early ankle knock. Taylor back to Hatate, forward again for Taylor, midway inside the RB half, plays it infield for McGregor. McGregor just checks his shoulders and now plays it back to Carter Vickers. Carter Vickers inside the centre circle, shot for Johnston and then for McGregor, forward for Engels down the right hand side to Kuhn. Kuhn in field for Johnston, trying to link with Engels, read by Campbell. Campbell slides in, he's under pressure from Engels, plays it off Engels and behind for a goal kick, and a good play from the Slovenian veteran there. He's the other end of the age spectrum from Engels, but he's obviously his experience and match wisdom getting him through there.
Yeah, Engels stops his run. He starts inside, plays it wide to Kuhn, then makes that forward run, and Kuhn plays it into Johnston, who plays it first time, looking for the run of Engels in behind Campbell, and he just stopped it, allowed Campbell to get down the side of the ball and stop it. But if he'd have kept his run on, he was in there.
It's Openda coming back to the left midfield position, back with Campbell now to the edge of his penalty area to Bitshabu. Celtic fans booing the possession of the visitors as Celtic look to press. Maida leading that as usual. Goalkeeper gets it out to Haidara. It's a poor slack pass there back from Gertruda, and Celtic do have it. Taylor then fouled, surely was he by Openda, it looked, but nothing given by the referee. It certainly looked like a foul on the Celtic player, but play continues with RB Leipzig in possession. Play forward to Šeško, who's midway inside his own half. He's lost it. Engels now. Good ball winning from Celtic. The home crowd appreciating that as Cameron Carter-Vickers brings it down the right-hand side for Kuhn. Kuhn up against Heinrichs, down the right-hand side, tries to take him on the outside, cuts it back, comes off Haidara, and then it's Openda back in his own penalty area to lash it high up in the air. RB Leipzig help it on through Haidara. Taylor keeps it alive. Hatate though can't get a hold of it. Shesko bars to the ground there by Taylor. Nothing wrong with that though, said the referee. And Celtic have it through Hatate, left-hand side, back the way to McGregor. Good spell this for Celtic. Good possession inside RB Leipzig's half. Johnston now forward, just slightly astray though for Engels, and Campbell picks up again on that. Now it's back with Heinrichs. RB Leipzig could do with a bit of possession themselves here as Baumgartner comes under pressure. He's coming off the right flank. Here's Bitshiabu on the edge of his own penalty there. 0-0 after a quarter of an hour at Celtic Park between Celtic and RB Leipzig in the Champions League. Campo just outside his own penalty area. Back with Bitshiabu once more. Hatate comes across, plays it forward up towards Openda. Good challenge from Johnston. He gets it back from Kuhn. Celtic are going to put their business well so far, Pat.
Yeah, I think you'll be very pleased with it. Brendan will be as relaxed as you possibly can be in these circumstances. But just looking at RB Leipzig there, they're trying to, quieten the crowd. Good luck with that. Trying to slow the ball down, play it along the back. It's not working. And as you mentioned just a few moments ago, Celtic's winning the ball up high up the pitch a couple of times. Maeda particularly there. If you keep on doing that, they'll get chances.
Yeah, Brendan Rodgers is the picture of calm down there. Can't say the same about Marco Rosa as Hatate looks to try and find Arne Engels inside the penalty area. Just too much on the pass. But Rosa down there, he's not happy with the way things are going by the looks of it, Faddy.
No, and that's where Celtic can get joy. Hatate, McGregor and Engels are outnumbering Haidara and Campbell. So either one of the wide men is going to have to come in and help, which is difficult because they're dealing with the fullbacks and doubling up for the wingers. You've got two strikers that are playing up against Trusty and Carter-Vickers. So Celtic can control it from that midfield area. As Hatate drops deep, Engels makes the opposite run forward and the diagonal's on.
Here's Baumgartner inside the centre circle. It breaks off Trusty for Shesko. Shesko forward he comes, left channel, tries to get a shot off. He does manage that. Carter-Vickers looked to get a big deflection on that, but the referee initially pointed for a goal kick. I think he's been advised that it should have been a corner, which was absolutely the correct decision, and now he's changed his mind and it will be a corner. Big deflection off Carter-Vickers there from the Shesko effort, and RB Leipzig have their first corner.
There's a couple of things you need to worry about. He got it right, but he's got help there. He had no idea whatsoever. However, they've got two very, very tall players in this. Shesko, who's 6'4", 6'5", and the player we were talking about before, Bitshiabu, who's at a sticky start, but he is a giant in there. He needs to be watched.
Yeah, it's Campbell who's gone out to that right-hand side to take this corner kick. Right-footed as Shesko and Bitshiabu, among others, jostle for position inside the penalty area. The referee just having a word with both Trusty and Shesko. Trusty, it looks like, is going to be the man who tries to marshal the big Slovenian striker, looking to add to 7 goals so far this season. 3 of those have come in the Champions League as they look to strike first here at Celtic Park. 18.5 played as Campo sends it in. It's made by Kyogo of all people at the near post, helped away by Hatate, only as far as Haidara out to the right hand side once more for Campo, and then across has gone Nusa to the right hand side, tracked by Taylor down at the corner flag, trying to get away from Greg Taylor. It breaks kindly for Campo. Back it comes to Haidara, who clips it into the area. Johnston clears as far as Heinrichs at the edge of the area, plays out to the left hand side now for Openda. Openda, low ball in, easily dealt with by Trusty. This time it's cleared as far as Geertruida, who's back at the halfway line, as is Bitshiabu now back in his defensive position. Geertruida back out to the left hand side for Openda. Openda back to Geertruida, the Dutch right back. As Pat said, both full backs can operate on either flank, and they have done over the course of the season. A lot of injuries they've had to deal with, so players have had to be versatile. Here is Heinrichs, one of those, back to his goalkeeper Peter Galace, who suffered that dreadful cruciate ligament injury against Celtic out in Leipzig a couple of years ago. 16 months it cost him of his career. Here's Campbell now, just outside his own penalty area. Plays it square for Bitshiabu. forward it goes to Haidara, who was taken off against Dortmund at the weekend, but fit enough to start here tonight. Campbell now out to the right hand side. Gertruda's well advanced, plays it low into the area. Šeško just gets a little touch in it and is lashed away by Alistair Johnston. It was a momentary worry for Celtic, but it was a poor touch in the end from Šeško. Perhaps should have done better. RB Leipzig having a good spell here, and they've got it back once more through Campbell, right hand side. Gertruda's outside of him. Here's Gertruda once more. Low ball in again. It's dealt with by Trusty at the near post. Maida can't hold on to it though. Campbell picks up once more. Celtic on the back foot all of a sudden. 20 played, 0-0 it stands. Campbell right hand side, midway inside the Celtic half. Comes back the way. Maida with him. Gertruda back with Campbell. He just rolls it back to his captain, Willie Orban, 10 yards inside the Celtic half, then clips it out to the left-hand side. Johnston watches it, clears with a header. Kuhn will try and pick up here. As back comes Baumgartner, does enough to knock it to Heinrichs, and Heinrichs now for Haidara. Heinrichs once more on the halfway line. Better last few minutes, James, from the visiting side.
Yeah, and the ball that comes in to Šeško, I wonder if he's just trying to be too clever and flick that round the corner to his teammate Openda. It did look like it was a poor touch, but it looked to me as if he could just hit it first time. So I don't know if he's trying to be too clever, but Celtic struggling to clear the box and get any kind of control, and but you have to accept that there's going to be periods like this, and they've defended well. They've protected Kasper Schmeichel in goals, not that he needs it, but he's rather the goalkeeper didn't have to make saves, and now they've got a chance to come out the other side and get a bit of control back in the game.
You have it at the back through Trusty. It's a loose ball. He was looking for McGregor, but it comes to Nusa instead, who now feeds Openda, edge of the area, just cuts back inside. Johnson gets the shot away. Down goes Schmeichel, touches it round the post, and it will be an RB Leipzig corner. Might just have been heading outside the post in any case, but the Dane wasn't taking any chances as he got the glove to it from Openda's shot, and it will be an RB Leipzig corner, left hand side. 22 in, Celtic 0, RB Leipzig 0.
He decides to play that ball with his right foot there, Trusty, instead of his left foot. Again, questioning, worrying if he's absolutely 100% comfortable there. Gives the ball away there, and you can't give the ball away in your own final third there. And it's a bit of an opportunity.
Another corner kick for Campbell to take this time. More of an in-swinger. Looks likely with the right foot from the left-hand side. There's half a dozen players of RB Leipzig look to attack it as it comes in, but it's headed clear by Engels, behind for another corner on the same side. But as Pat says, a couple of really towering players in RB Leipzig colours inside that penalty area in the shape of Šeško and Bichiabi. In comes the corner, it's Gladstone, and it's in the back of the net. RB Leipzig have the opener, and it looks like Christoph Baumgartner at the back post has nodded it home after the flick on at the near post, and Baumgartner, the Austrian, to pounce at the back post to knock it into the net and make it Celtic 0, RB Leipzig 1.
Yeah, it's a dangerous delivery into that front post area. There was one just before it, and Engels managed to get a header on it, but he put it back out for another corner, and the ball's whipped into that near post again. It's flicked on, and you can see they're trying to exploit that space and use their numbers and their height advantage at the back post, and Baumgartner is there to put it back into the back of the net, and it probably goes back to the decision of Kasper Schmeichel to make the save at his near post. Like, it's easy from up here, we can see it's probably going wide, but he has to make that decision. Then you've got to go and defend the cross, and RB Leipzig with a pressure take the lead.
He actually goes further back than that. It goes to, Trusty giving the ball away under no real pressure, gives it in the final third, and that leads to the first of the two corners, and Celtic never got themselves back into a position.
The thing for Celtic is RB Leipzig have taken the lead, and the other two games have scored in the Champions League, and they've lost them. Obviously lost 1-0 to Liverpool, so never get a chance to take the lead there, and the team that don't generally keep clean sheets in the Champions League as well, so although it's a blow for Celtic, it's not the time to panic.
Yeah, they don't generally keep clean sheets in the Champions League this season, that's for sure. They absolutely threw that game against Juventus away. They were playing against 10 men, leading by 2-1, and eventually lost 3-2, but they have only conceded 5 goals in the Bundesliga, the meanest defence in the German league, and they've got themselves another corner. And I'll tell you an even more worrying statistic is that Celtic have lost 27 of 28 Champions League games in which they've conceded the first goal.
big moment here as well.
Yeah.
If that ball gets played into the 6-yard box, I think Kasper Schmeichel has to come out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Unless it's zipped in too low for him to come to that near post, he really needs to make sure that that 6-yard line at the very least belongs to him here.
Kevin Campbell from the same side from which he provided the corner that led to the opening goal just a couple of minutes ago. Left hand side, Campbell right-footed, swings it again near post, it's clanched on, and that one is just wide from Orban. Oh, he hits the floor in disbelief because he got the glancing header and there was no touch at the back post this time. And Celtic survived by the skin of their teeth. It remains Celtic 0, RB Leipzig 1, but they're giving the ball away at the back again, Celtic, and they are absolutely rattled by the loss of that goal.
Yeah, it was another delivery, as you said, Pat. I think that particularly the one leading up to the goal where Engels comes and heads it, I think Schmeichel can come and take something on it, or at least have the intent to go and do it. They're definitely targeting that front post area. There's another slack pass from a Celtic player.
All of a sudden, a nervousness has set in at Celtic Park, not least amongst the home side, as they struggle to clear their lines here. Hatate has it, trying to get it away, manages to get it up to the halfway line, but RB Leipzig, they have their tails up, and it's Baumgartner, the goal scorer, right hand side, up against Taylor, cuts it back, McGregor's back to intercept and pick up possession at the edge of his box. The ball to Engels wasn't the right one though, and it's been given away once more. And the home crowd getting on the players' backs to an extent because of the ball's been given away rather cheaply, the goal being given away rather cheaply. And all of a sudden the mood has very much changed inside Celtic Park as Gertrude has it right hand side, and Celtic cannot afford to lose a second goal at this stage. As Bichiawi has it on the halfway line, plays it to Campbell, out to the left it goes to Heinrichs, back with Campbell once more, midway inside the Celtic half, unchallenged for the moment. Engels eventually coming out to guard him. Out to the left now it goes to Nusa, dancing inside Kuhn, away also from Engels. Heinrichs almost gets in his way there, but he does pick up possession, tries to get the cross in, comes off Johnston. Another corner on this left hand side. Celtic 0, RB Leipzig 1, 27 played.
You want now Celtic facing another corner from the same position again. They're not defending them well. They've got to do something about that near post. So whoever's on the edge of the 6-yard line, I'm trying to see if it's Cal McGregor who's done that there. You have to be in a position to win that first ball. Having said that, it's tough because the quality of corner kick has been superb so far. I'm not sure it should be. Is it Kyogo at front post?
Kyogo's front post area, yeah.
I'm not sure that's right.
Yeah, that's his normal area. Let's see how it pans out. This time it's coming, and Schmeichel does get two fists to that one as it was swung in near post, and then Hatate, under very little pressure, just hooks it over his shoulder and out of play. Most unlike him to be looking at all flustered. But it's just spreading through the Celtic team right now.
Yeah, but they've not been able to string two passes together since they've gone behind. It's been, trying to show a bit of composure, Cal McGregor, but he plays the pass to Engels, it's wrong side. Engels potentially not looking for it in that area, or it's been cleared up the park and not cleared far enough where RB Leipzig can just keep the pressure on. So I can understand the frustration, or certainly Hatate just smash it out of the park rather than trying to take another a touch and then lose the ball and allow RB Leipzig to sustain the attack. But they're going to have to compose themselves, get a hold of the ball, play some passes.
Well, Celtic Park needs something to cling on to right now. It needs a bolt of positivity from somewhere. At the moment, the team don't look like providing it, as RB Leipzig have begun to boss proceedings as it's played forward by Heinrichs down the left channel for Šeško up against Trusty. Trusty's done well, now he's been dragged back by Šeško, and the free kick goes Celtic's way just outside their own penalty. A good defending on that occasion from the big American, and the free kick Celtic's way taken quickly by Carter Vickers to Schmeichel, now out to Trusty. Celtic look to rebuild the confidence shattered by that loss of the opening goal to Austrian winger Christoph Baumgartner. Hatate now inside to Callum McGregor, still inside his own half, looking for options, doesn't see too many ahead of him, plays it left to Greg Taylor on the halfway line, back it goes to Callum McGregor. Celtic fans maybe getting a little bit unnecessarily frustrated just because the ball's not going forward quite as quickly as they would hope.
Yeah, they are, but it's not the right thing to do just to force it because you've been defending. I think it's the right thing they're doing. They're getting a touch of the ball, they're trying to build an attack, but again another slack pass inside.
Yeah, that one from Maida, well won by Haidara before McGregor could get there, and now forward comes Openda as a Celtic player gone down, and that allows Nusa to go for goal, and he's gone well wide, well off target for the young Norwegian, blazing high and wide when he should have been hitting the target and punishing Celtic again. Johnston for some reason went down off the ball, and that allowed Openda to find Nusa in all sorts of space that he wouldn't otherwise have had, but he couldn't make the most of it, and it remains Celtic 0, RB Leipzig 1.
Well, it's not exactly falling apart, but at the moment there's no confidence in the Celtic players to be able to find each other, hold the ball up, giving it away yet again now. And the confidence you can see in the opponents, they don't need to push it. Every single player wants the ball. There was a moment before there, Callum McGregor got the ball, arms out wide, saying, Who's looking for it?
Yeah.
And that's a big tell.
Yeah.
That's a real tell.
I think that's the issue. It's players that they're trying to make runs and trying to create space, but in actual fact sometimes the best thing is to just stand still and be an option for your teammate. When it comes up to Kyogo there, Kuhn makes a run beyond him, and now it has to be the most outrageous piece of skill for Kyogo to hit it on the volley as he's running towards his own goal with a man behind him to get that into the path of Kuhn. He just needs to narrow off it a little bit, deepen off, and allow it to be the option for Kyogo maybe to bounce it.
Well, what's happened now, just in case you're wondering with the crowd reaction, there's Openda has gone down. The challenge that was made by Alistair Johnston, the referee, way play on, saw nothing wrong with the challenge, but Openda only now picking himself up. I think the Celtic fans thought he was definitely looking for a free kick that was never going to come his way. Celtic have it over on the left-hand side. Callum McGregor getting it from Maida, but the challenge from Johnston actually came because of another loose pass, and he had to dive in to force it back to Austin Trusty, I think it was. Otherwise, RB Leipzig might well have won possession once again in a dangerous area. As Trusty has it on the halfway line. Taylor back to Trusty. Celtic being forced back the way again. 32 on the clock. 1-0 RB Leipzig leads, and they really have taken charge of this game as Engels is brushed aside almost by Campbell, and then Campbell plays it forward for Openda, and he asks, well, why did you not continue your run? And the two players exchanging words there as it goes all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel. But Campbell has been excellent, 34-year-old in the centre of the park, but he is running the midfield just at the moment, as well as being the architect of the opening goal.
That's why the Celtic fan, I can understand the Celtic fans want the players to play it forward and try and create an opportunity, but anytime they play it or get into an area where it's almost becoming a 50-50, RB Leipzig are winning it back, and then they're hitting Celtic on the break. So I can understand the apprehension at times to maybe force it, and that's absolutely right, but the pressure from RB Leipzig has been outstanding.
It's good play from Celtic. Here's Kuhn getting it back from Johnston. Johnston took a blow there from Openda. Still it's Kuhn, plays it off at Chiabi, and it will be a corner kick for Celtic as Johnston makes it known to the referee that he was knocked in the face there by Openda as the pass was made, but better from Celtic certainly, and an opportunity here for an equaliser from the corner from the right hand side if they can work it well. Just over 11 minutes until the interval. Corner kick from the right hand side to be taken by Arne Engels.
It's a big target to get it over at that front post area with Šeško just standing there.
Now, it's slightly different from having Kyogo at the front post, isn't it? It fails to do so. Well, it's a strange touch from Šeško in saying that, slices it all the way out to the far side. Could have gone anywhere off that left boot of his as he looked rather ungainly going for it, but it worked out fine for RB Leipzig. And now Johnston has it just at the edge of the centre circle, out to the right hand side. Lovely touch from Engels for Kuhn. Kuhn into the penalty area he goes. Can he get his shot away? Curls one! Goal! What a goal from Nicholas Kuhn, who takes the acclaim from the home fans. An absolutely outrageous chip from Nicholas Kuhn, curling it beyond the outstretched gloves of Peter Gulacsi in the RB Leipzig goal to make it Celtic 1, RB Leipzig 1.
Oh, what a stunning goal it is. The individual brilliance of Nicholas Kuhn to come in on his left foot and just clips it to the far post, but the touch from Arne Engels to set him free. Comes into him, first time, outside of the boot, he's not even looking, into the path of Kuhn, shifts it on his left, and it's just a little clip, a little chip to the far post, no power on it at all. Galachi at full stretch, and it just goes in off the post into the far side net. It's an outstanding goal from Celtic. Great skill from Engels. What about that for composure from Nicholas Kuhn?
Do you know what? We said watching that, keeper's got a cheek to die for that. Didn't get within about 3 feet of it. Brilliant. They had such a bad period there, such a difficult period there. They needed a fillip. You can't get a better one than that. Brilliant goal.
How easy did they make it? How calm did they look when it cut inside?
So much so that I thought he may have made a mistake.
It's incredible. Just a little cut to the back post, and Galachi at full stretch, absolutely no chance. And that is a lift that Celtic needed.
Yeah, absolutely. An outrageous, an outstanding finish from Nicholas Kuhn, who has been absolutely excellent this season. Absolutely typified by that finish to make it 1 apiece. His 8th goal of the season, his first in the Champions League for Celtic. And he is just bursting with confidence right now. And hopefully that will restore confidence to the Celtic ranks as they look to try and play their way back into this game. They're very much back in it at 1 apiece. There's a poor touch from Engels after that exquisite touch he also touched upon Fadi to lay it into Kuhn's pass, but it was outstanding as well, wasn't it?
Magic. I mean, it's exactly what you need. I've spoke about Celtic and the reluctance maybe to take that risk, and I can totally understand it because they're taking the risk either in their defensive third or the middle third. But when you get into the final third and it comes to Engels, that's when you can try your little flicks, which it does. Outside of the boot, perfectly into the path of Kuhn, just to split the defence. And when Kuhn cuts inside, I mean, I still can't believe just how nonchalant it was. The shift of pace to get it onto his left foot, but the final action, it's just a little clip to the back post. There's no power on it. It's just pure skill and direction. But he's so calm, and it's almost like as soon as it leaves his boot. And I think that Kuhn, the way that he hits it is like what you're saying, Pat. Why you even try to die? Why you even try to save that? It's so nonchalant.
The weird thing about it, because he was up against the centre back we've been talking about, Batsiado, he did not get close to him. He doesn't look quick enough to get close to him. So 1-on-1 with him, doesn't get close. He's got time to take his time and see the pass into the goal.
Well, I'm sitting alongside a couple of guys who had the proverbial wands of left foots, but I know both of them are drooling and would have been very, very proud of that finish from Nicholas Kuhn that has drawn Celtic level with 7.5 minutes left of this first period. And Engels with another wonderful pass for Kuhn just inside his own half this time, and it sets Kuhn moving forward. Tries to play outside for Maida, over the top from Maida. Oh, that would have been special as well had he finished that one, because Engels and Kuhn both produced wonderful passes, and then Maida from about 16 yards scoops it over the top when he should at least have been hitting the target.
He should, definitely. It's outstanding again from Engels to release Kuhn. And what Kuhn does is he drives it, he's infield, he's driving forward, he gets his head up, he's waiting for Maida to make the run. He knows that that's where the space is, he knows that's the option. He drags it onto his right, he puts it back onto his left, he waits for the perfect moment, outside of the left foot, defence splitting pass, perfectly into the path of Maida, perfectly weighted, doesn't need to adjust anything, he just has to at least hit the target. He balloons it over, but it's outstanding again between Engels and Kuhn in particular.
What a difference a goal can make. And Celtic all of a sudden playing with that verve and energy and confidence once more, having got themselves level, and Celtic Park is re-energised. And Dyson Maida, having got a hat-trick at the weekend and 9 for the season already, you would have fancied him to at least trouble Peter Galachi there from a central area inside the 18-yard area, but he could not hit the target.
Well, it's very noticeable with the centre backs. Furuhashi he'd run into an offside position, so the two centre backs stopped. You don't do that. So again, a little bit of naivety in that centre back area there. It gave another chance to Celtic. Didn't even have to work too hard for it.
No, I know, but you look at Kuhn again, and much like his goal where he's so nonchalant, it's like he's doing everything at full speed, but at his own speed, where he's got time and unbelievable the composure. When he drives forward, you can see he's waiting for Maida to make the run. and he just times it perfectly outside of the boot. We saw him do it in pre-season, a magnificent outside of the boot pass to set a chance up, and it should have been a goal. Whether Maida should maybe take an extra touch, maybe go round the goalkeeper with his speed, because his momentum's taking him that way. But it's outstanding again from Kuhn.
Yeah, absolutely. RB Leipzig have it at the back with about 5 minutes left in this first period. Celtic 1, RB Leipzig 1. A fascinating game that Celtic began well, and then all of a sudden RB Leipzig started to edge into it and found themselves ahead and were absolutely dominant for a period, and all of a sudden Celtic from nowhere grabbed an absolutely stunning equaliser, and since then it's been all Celtic. But here at the other end, it's Šeško inside the penalty area, stands up to the back post, in comes Heinrichs, but Johnston's there ahead of him, flicks it behind. It's another corner on the left hand side though for Celtic to be aware of. Just because they've got themselves level, they cannot afford to relax here.
Nah, and it's an early run from Hertruda up that right hand side for RB Leipzig. Celtic's left, and he's not spotted till it's too late. He's beyond Taylor, he's beyond Trusty. And that's something, you know, they can't get too comfortable, Celtic. Not that they will know that, but they can't get too comfortable and think that, you know, that they're dominating. This is a dangerous team they're playing against.
Celtic are 1v1 at the other end if they can get the ball clear quickly enough. With just Hertruda back against Kuhn. That'll be an interesting foot race if it came to it. Henriks is somewhere in no man's land in the middle of the Celtic half. Everyone else camped inside more or less the Celtic penalty area as Campbell prepares to take this corner from the left hand side against the near post delivery. Good header from Kyogo at the near post, clear as far as Haidara. Heinrichs offers himself. Here is Heinrichs back out to the left hand side. He's looking for Campbell, but he gets his angles wrong. It's behind for a goal kick. And so with 3.5 left in this first period, Celtic 1, RB Leipzig 1.
You know, I've not counted the crosses that Leipzig have had, or corners have had from this left-hand side here, but it must be 5 or 6, and they're aiming for the same place. They're aiming for just above Kyogo's head, and you know, he's got his head onto it twice there, but he's an absolute stretch at it. I just really wonder, he's the right player to have there, just purely in terms of height.
They're not a big side though, Pat. It's just, it's difficult for them. They need to take Carter Vickers and Trusty. They have to be the ones that pick up.
But would you not put Engels there? Engels
is
out.
picking up as
well, he'd come out, yeah. He'd come out just to mark the 2-on-2, hadn't he? I mean, he might not be as good.
McGregor was before. Engels was one of the markers. It is, you know, it is an issue, especially with the quality you're facing. The one thing I would say, Al, you mentioned Kuhn was up, you know, 1v1 with Hertruda, and that's great when you win it, but he has to make sure that he's threatening that 1v1 situation. But if it drops to the edge and it's Heinrichs that picks it up, he needs to get there and put enough pressure on him.
Here is Kuhn, right hand side, attacking Heinrichs, and he comes, whacks it off Hatate inadvertently. Comes out to Engels, right hand side. He'll go back to the halfway line for Cameron Carter Vickers. Couple to play plus stoppage time in this terrific first half in the Champions League at Celtic Park. Celtic 1, RB Leipzig 1. Carter Vickers looking for options. Callum McGregor, as always, offers himself, and that's eventually where the ball goes. And now it's Alistair Johnston 10 yards further forward. Now Kuhn, right hand side, hugging the touchline. Engels gets a touch out of his feet, plays it to McGregor midway side. The RB Leipzig half now, slides it forward for Hatate, edge of the box. Outside of him is Taylor, but he finds Johnston instead, sweeps it goalwards into the body of Peter Galacci, went down to his right and gathers it in. So no harm done for RB Leipzig on that occasion, but a good Celtic move. Celtic 1, RB Leipzig 1.
Great play, great way to pass, great decision making, and great patience to work that opportunity. It comes to the goal machine that is Alistair Johnston, and he just can't get it out of his feet to get enough on the shot. But it's really good play from Celtic.
They've won it back, but then give it away to Haidara, and then on by Nusa. Nusa's miss, actually, just a few minutes before that Celtic equaliser, looks bigger and bigger. Here's Kyogo, brilliant play into the penalty. Kyogo, superb block by Willie Orban. Terrific block from the Hungary centre-back. to slide it behind, because that looked like it might well have been troubling Peter Galacci. Terrific play from Kyogo to get away initially from Bichiabi, but across the shot blocked behind by Willie Orban. Celtic corner.
That would be one of the best goals of the season. That would be phenomenal by Kyogo there. His play was great. By the way, quick word about Johnson. His underlapping so far in this game has been spectacular. It always is. He's not always going on the end of it. I'll tell you what, he is a danger in that area just now.
Corner kick right hand side, Arne Engels to take. Final minute of the 45, +1 to be added, and it comes from Engels straight into the body of Galacci. The referee indicating it had gone out of play, so it will be a goal kick. So 1 minute of added on time, which is about to be confirmed by the fourth official down there. And well, it's been highly intriguing. Literally can't wait for the second half. But the guys will dissect the opening 45 in just a few moments with Kenny and Tom back in the studio as Galacci takes the ball back from Bichiabi. Bichiabi certainly not looked happy when Kyogo and Co have run at him, got in about him, as Pat was suggesting. As RB Leipzig tried to play out from the back, they just about got away with it, but then Celtic nick it. Taylor, left-hand side, picked up by Hatate on the angle of the box. Kyogo goes down off the ball. Play continues. It's Hatate at the goal line for Taylor across goal. Goal! Nicholas Kuhn again! From 3 yards out, Nicholas Kuhn has turned it round for Celtic in first half injury time. It's Celtic 2, RB Leipzig 1.
It's another outstanding goal. First of all, Celtic put the pressure on RB Leipzig. It looked like they played through the pressure, but Celtic won it back. It's played out to Hatate. He's inside the box. It doesn't look like there's a lot of space. It looks like he's going to play across. He takes the run to Greg Taylor and plays it perfectly into his path for Greg Taylor to cut it back. Maida misses it first of all, and it comes to Nicholas Kuhn, the man we gave the big build up to at the start of the season. And he's in the right spot at the right time just to slot it away. But it's such a good goal from Celtic's point of view. Everything they want to be. A team that presses to win the ball back. A team that then hurts you with a little intricate passing. And you've got your wide man getting into the back post to get the finish. What an end to this first half for Celtic.
Love it. Hatate's intelligence, by the way, down there. But if you want to know how you do closing down high at the park, just get a video of that. You don't do it any better than that. That was world-class closing down high up the field.
Well, Celtic Park brings the noise once again. It was silenced for a spell, particularly after the opening goal from RB Leipzig, as Christoph Baumgartner stole in at the far post from a Campbell corner that was flicked on at the near post and then knocked in by the Austrian at the back post. And at that stage, RB Leipzig were really dominating and probably should have been 2 up when Openda played in Nusa on 31 minutes and he blazed off target when he should have been troubling Kasper Schmeichel. Perhaps that was a turning point, because 4 minutes later Celtic were level. A moment of utter genius from both Engels and then Nicholas Kuhn, who curled it in off the far post with that left foot of his to make it 1 apiece. Maida should have done better than scoop over the top just a few minutes later after Kuhn had played him in with the outside of the boot. And then as the first half came to a close, it was Celtic back in front as they won it just outside the RB Leipzig area. Hatate and then Taylor helping it across the area, and there was Kuhn once more to sweep it in from close range to make the half-time scoreline. Celtic 2, RB Leipzig 1.
Celtic in the Champions League.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Celtic score!
You're listening to Champions League Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Extra this evening with me, Kenny McIntyre. Tom English is alongside me in the studio. In recent weeks, Tom, we've had so many games on paper that have potentially looked like being absolute classics. Everyone up until now, including this one tonight, has absolutely delivered. This has been a belting game of football.
It has, and with the twist in the last 10 minutes as well. Incredibly dramatic. Very worrying for Celtic the way it started with Baumgartner scoring. Leipzig could have scored again, but around the half an hour mark, something happened in this match. Kuhn probably sparked it with the goal. But Celtic's play, I think we could hear from here that the Celtic fans were getting very, very annoyed at Celtic's use of the ball. Rightly so. They were getting hustled and harried out of possession. Passes were going astray. And then, boom, Kuhn's bit of magic. Engels involved in that too. Unbelievable goal. And since then, it's been all Celtic. And Celtic look a team transformed. Their passes are now going where they're supposed to go. Their pressing game has been intense and very effective. Leipzig look wobbly. And they get the goal for 2-1. Maeda probably should have scored, or certainly should have got it on target. Again, Engels and Kuhn, brilliant work from them. Should have done better, Maeda. But then they scored a goal, and it's Kuhn again. It's just, and that 2-1 goal was all about pressure. It was all about hard work, trapping Leipzig in that corner, not letting them out, and then taking advantage of the ball that they win. They take advantage of it. And it was ruthless. And it was about desire. Hatate coming in, Taylor coming in, Kuhn. It was precision and it was dynamite.
2-1 to Celtic at half-time. Other half-time scores: Bologna 0, Monaco 0, Dortmund 0, Sturm Graz 0, Lille 1, Juventus 0, Liverpool 0, Bayer Leverkusen 0, Real Madrid 1, AC Milan 2. We've seen some great comebacks from AC Milan in this competition. From Real Madrid in this competition. Sporting Lisbon 1, Manchester City 1. 2 full-time scores from earlier: PSV 4, Girona 0, Slovan Bratislava 1, Dinamo Zagreb 4. James McFadden, as you said, we gave this game the big build-up tonight, and for me it's games like this, nights like this, why we just love football. The drama on show tonight has been incredible.
Sensational. Great start to the game. Two teams fairly even. Celtic looked like if they could use the ball well enough, they could cause problems, and then Leipzig hit back and have that sustained period of pressure where it's corner after corner that Celtic just can't clear, and slack pass after slack pass from Celtic, and you're looking at a massive moment of the game where the real urgency from the crowd was to just play it forward, and the players, to their credit, they've been criticised at times about managing the game, managing the occasion. They took their time, they didn't force it, they didn't play passes that weren't on, they knocked the ball about and come back into it. And the 2 goals from Celtic have been outstanding bits of football. Okay, they finished with the end. Nicholas Kuhn, he should be in there, and he's not going to miss from there. The pressure to win it back, the composure from Hatate to get it when he's in the box. The temptation again is to maybe have a shot or play that killer pass himself, to understand that he's got a teammate in a better position, and it actually creates a better opening, because then eyes are drawn towards Greg Taylor to put the cross across. Maeda makes a run, doesn't get it, and Kuhn's there to put it back. Outstanding play towards the end for Celtic. Great character shown to maintain their composure and get themselves the control back in their hands. What a game of football we've had, and I'm sure it's going to continue into the second half.
It's been sensational, Pat, hasn't it? And just to touch on that, Faddy picked up right away the wee flick from Engels, and then we spoke a lot about Nicholas Kuhn. I was saying earlier on in the programme that, according to Aidan McGeady on the podcast this week, the best player in Scotland right now, that just the finish there and the angle we've got here, it'll be the same actually for you guys, just following that ball. The moment it left his foot, the keeper had no chance.
We are fortunately right behind it. Absolutely right behind it, as you know from our angle we're sitting here. Yeah, there was the comfort and the confidence, and oddly he is one of those players. Fanny was talking about it before. There are certain players where they seem to have more time than anyone else, and there's a reason for it. It's because they're not having to look at the ball. They know everything that's around them before it comes to them, and they know how to develop space, and he's one of those. And the hardest place to do that is the final third. It's in the penalty area. But he knew what he wanted to do long before he actually did it. So that was brilliant. But take away nothing from the build-up. When you get the final touch, and he's got the headlines at the moment, but the build-up. I mean, the Hatate pass for me in the second one, you could kind of ignore it. 99% of players don't play that pass. They play the pass back, and a cut-back pass. He didn't. He played it in an unusual, odd angle, and he's got a runner there who goes, and then the ball eventually gets back, and it's a tap-in to some degree for Kuhn. So brilliant there. But then again, knowing when to do the hate using the phrase too much, but, you know, the high press.
Yeah.
But that was astounding. How many Celtic players were down in that corner there? I mean, beside Maeda. And, of course, most teams, 2 or 3 passes and you're out of the press, aren't you? No chance there. Absolutely no chance.
They nearly were. They got past and it was Maeda that gets back.
And the closing down, the tackling, the willingness to do it. And we were talking before about Maeda, and I said, sometimes it doesn't look human, you know. He keeps on going. The batteries are forever. Well, others would have given up there. He didn't. And again, it takes a team to create a goal, but well done every one of them working together for that, and particularly Maeda.
Tom, we're just watching a replay of that first goal. What's striking me is a watch that is beautiful touch from Engels, fantastic finish from Kuhn. But it's the pace, it's the movement of this Celtic team. As soon as Engels does the flick round the corner, he's off. He is sprinting to give Kuhn that option on the outside into the box.
Yeah, he more and more Kuhn is reminding me of Jota. The way he moves, the influence in games, his ability to score goals in volumes, but scoring great goals as well. He's become an absolutely essential player in this team, and you couldn't tire watching that, because he just cushions it in from a mile out. I don't know if you can cushion a shot in from a mile out, but he's just subtle,
brilliant,
precise. And the fact that it clips off the inside of the post just makes it even better aesthetically. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous goal.
Yeah, we're just watching replay after replay here in the studio. You were saying before the game, Pat, you felt, just given the nature of the start of the Champions League campaign for Leipzig, this would be a very open game this evening. You also said you had quite a strong feeling earlier on that this would be a game that Celtic would take something from. So far, so good. From a manager's perspective now, from Brendan Rodgers, does he change anything now they've got their noses in front?
First of all, I don't want to sound too smug, but I was beginning to waver in that when the first goal went in. And I think most people were there, yes, because they were really shaking. But when you think about it, yeah, they had 10-15 minutes where Celtic were under pressure. It was mostly from the corners, wasn't it? That was where the real danger was. That's where people were looking through their fingers to do that. But look, having watched as I've been to see Leipzig before, there are limitations to their game. I mean, they're a good side, but they're not a brilliant side. And I also mentioned the fact that you needed this crowd behind you. You just felt it in that last 10 minutes. You go through your body, and suddenly the Celtic players get that new lease of life as well. But there is enough quality there, and it doesn't matter who you are. If you've got the likes of Maeda with his pace chasing you and closing you down, it's horrible. It's the last thing you want. Can I talk about 2 other players who really haven't talked about just now, because they've done so well, so quietly? Carter Vickers and Trusty. They've been up against Openda and Shesko. Done little. Honestly, 2 top-class strikers. Now, they only need one chance, and they might both score in the second half. You never know. But so far, so good. Carter Vickers and Trusty. And I'll tell you something else. They've been left, 2-on-2 many times against them, and so far they've dealt with it brilliantly. So, quietly in the background, you need them doing the dirty, ugly work, and they've done it really well in there.
So what does the manager think about now in this second half, James? Does he change anything?
No. I don't see him changing it. I think that the way they finished the half was what he was looking for. They started pretty well. They started well in terms of, you had that chance early on when it was flashed across. I think Maeda has the shot. Maeda gets clear, and is it Engels that has a shot in the box?
There's another one we got to the byline.
Goes straight back up the pitch and nearly hits them back. But they've managed to get their control. They've managed to get, as Pat says, they're runners. They look like they've settled into the game. I wouldn't have been a rush to make loads of changes. I would just be, take care of the ball, which I know the manager will be saying. Take care of the ball. When you pass it, if you're patient, wait for the opportunities. You've got the speed of, running, the speed of thought, the speed of movement to cause them problems. And Celtic, there's goals in this game. You think of the Maeda chance as well for Kuhn, where he comes in and he's playing narrow, the outside of the boot pass. Celtic get chances here to go and they won't sit back and defend a 2-1 lead. That's not them. I know they've done it in Atalanta. This is a home game. They want to go and control the game with the ball, which they've done the first spells, and make sure they don't give any encouragement to Leipzig. Look, they're a good side, Leipzig. You can see that in how they press. They will have spells again in the second half, but I don't think Brendan Rodgers will be in a great rush to make changes, because for me it would be change for the sake of change at the minute.
There are going to be so many more chances in this game, Tom, aren't there? Because we spoke earlier on about the really difficult fixtures that Leipzig have got. They've been unlucky, you'd have to say, with the draw in the Champions League. 3 games played ahead of tonight, 3 defeats, narrow defeats against top quality opposition. They're going to go for this in this second half. This could be a fantastic second 45.
Absolutely, and Celtic's concentration levels are going to have to remain high as they were in the last 10 minutes of that game. Their use of the ball is going to have to be accurate, because this team is going to... They've got 45 minutes basically to save their Champions League season here. That's what's on the line now for Leipzig. They need to get something. They need to win this game. So they're going to come out, you would imagine, firing. Now that could present opportunities for Celtic. Leipzig have to put some risk into this game to try and get back level and get into the lead. They could leave themselves exposed to the back. Celtic are perfectly set up to hit them on the counter-attack if that happens. So Celtic basically have created a lovely situation for themselves where they have forced the issue with Leipzig, and Leipzig now are going to have to alter what they think. Celtic are perfect the way they are. As long as they continue with the control that they had and the accuracy that they had in the last 10 minutes rather than in the first 25, 30 minutes.
If we expand on that lovely situation comment, looking at the group as a whole, the table as a whole now, you guys were discussing earlier on, you felt if Celtic could get the 3 points tonight, next up they play Club Brugge at home on the 27th of November. Hold on tonight, get the win there, job all but done.
Yeah, because that will put them on 10 points. I think 10 points is gets you through. That would be a fantastic scenario. If they win this tonight, as I said earlier on, this, for me anyway, would be Brendan Rodgers' best ever European result. And it puts them absolutely in the box seat to qualify for the playoffs.
Tom, on that, if they win tonight, look, there's a long way to go.
Yeah.
You've got home games against Bruges and Young Boys and an away game against Dinamo. Could they, if they win tonight, actually look at the top 8?
Oh, I'd need to have a look at it, Faddy. Well, look,
it's a reasonable shout, though.
No, it is. Yeah, listen, if they get 3 points here, 6 points from their 2 very winnable games, all of a sudden Villa are through. So all of a sudden, no, Faddy, it's a very good question, and I'll start having a look at it. It's very hard to say it because it's so early.
But you can save it for the end of the game.
Yeah, end of the game. Have that conversation when Celtic win.
I hope that's not, you're not made a hostage to fortune here now, Faddy. But it's a very good
Tom,
talking point.
If people, when they look at football and not get excited, why would you not look at it and say, look, big 45, if you get the win?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Listen, I'm with you, Faddy. I'm with you. I'm
right.
excited. I'm looking forward to the second half. Can't wait. Celtic against RB Leipzig in the Champions League with James McFadden, Pat Nevin and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks, Kenny. So you caught me slightly off guard there, but I was just looking at something on our own Twitter account that has a question over Nicholas Kuhn's first goal. It says a cross or a shot. I mean, I don't think there's any debate about that, is there?
No, but I know why it's been asked.
Yeah,
because it's such an unusual way he plays the ball. It actually is played the way a cross would be played. It's not whipped.
Yeah.
It's clipped in such a way that that's how you play a cross. That's actually not a bad shout, but I want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Without doubt.
I really do.
When you play, I used to love playing on the right because it allowed me to make my teammates think I was crossing it for them, but I was actually shooting for the back post. But it's the one you put into the area that you know you're aiming for that back post, and if somebody gets a touch on it, great. If they don't, you're still putting that on target so that it goes in. So it could be both, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's an unbelievably nonchalant shot to the back post.
We'll ask him later and see what he says. I bet you Disney on up there.
He better not on up there.
Well, he's on a hat-trick now after a phenomenal first period all round, really. Celtic coming right back into it after they were really rocked by the opening goal that RB Leipzig scored and might well have conceded again before they got themselves level. Well, we're back underway, and let's just see what the second half holds. No changes to either side. As Celtic this time go from right to left as we look at it from the middle of the main stand here at Celtic Park. 2-1 Celtic lead then going into the second period. It's Greg Taylor who provided that eventual final pass for Kuhn's second goal. Knocks it back in. Kuhn put under pressure over there on the far side. And Celtic have it back quickly though. It's Kuhn for Engels. He's lost control of it and he's fouled Nusa, and it's going to be a free kick to RB Leipzig over on the far side, their left hand side, as they come forward midway inside the Celtic half. And the last thing Celtic want to do is give the visitors any encouragement at the start of this second period.
No, and I think that it's nice pace of play. When Kuhn comes to feet, Engels has made the run into the space that Kuhn's just vacated. Can that just be played up the line for Engels to go and chase, and you beat the whole press for Leipzig?
Nusa to the back post. Out comes Schmeichel under significant pressure. Gets a good fist to it. Picked up by Gertruda. Back with Haidara. And now Bitshuibi into Campbell. Back out to the left hand side for Nusa, who had that big miss. A big opportunity for 2-0, which he passed up by blazing well off target. Celtic battling away, hounding RB Leipzig to win the ball back, and then Kuhn gets it back off the referee, and the game will be halted as the referee acknowledges he was in the way, and it will be a Celtic drop ball. They will resume in possession, 10 yards inside their own half. Couple of minutes gone in this second period. Celtic 2, RB Leipzig 1.
It's a wee bit of a shame that Celtic were on a fairly decent break there. Very disappointing. Referee couldn't get out of the way. Nothing to look out for in this second half. Both of the wingers, Baumgartner and Nusa, didn't get the better of the full-backs at any point in that first half. They'll be wanting to do better, and I suspect the manager trying to get it out there to the left-hand side as often as possible. See if they can hold up to it. So far, Celtic have.
Campbell with a foul there on Alistair Johnston. Celtic free kick midway inside their own half, right hand side. Sporting see are 3-1 up on Manchester City. A couple of quick goals at the start of the second period as they're 3-1 up. Ruben Amorim taking charge of Sporting before moving to the other side of Manchester, so I'm sure he's already endearing himself to his new fans with that scoreline. Handball there against Gertruda, and it will be Celtic free kick, quickly taken by Taylor, back to Trusty, edge of his own box, back to Schmeichel, edge of his 6-yard box, just clips out to the right hand side for Nicholas Kuhn, who can do little wrong at the moment, but you can't bring that under control, and it's out of play over on the far side for a throw into RB Leipzig. Celtic's general record against German opponents is not good. They lost their last 5 against Bundesliga opponents, most recently of course Borussia Dortmund, and the win in Leipzig in November 2018 in the Europa League is their only one in the last 16 against German opponents, and the only one of the last 9 that they didn't lose, but they are looking to buck that trend tonight, and a good place right now. But as the guys have been saying, it's a must-win for RB Leipzig, this one, and they will give it their all in the second period. Šeško just unable to bring the ball under control at the edge of the Celtic area. Here's Callum McGregor bursting forward, leaving 3 RB Leipzig players in his wake. Now it's Kuhn inside the penalty, it goes for goal, and it just bobbles as he goes to hit it, and it's well off target in the end from the German. What a run from the Celtic captain, rolling back the gears there to lay it into Kuhn, but the finish wasn't quite what it might have been.
That's so powerful from McGregor, straight through the middle of the pitch, and Kuhn had made the run early, but he wasn't really set to play it, and when he cuts it inside when it gets to Kuhn, it just bobbles in front of him. Seen him at the weekend again, you know, showing that quality, but it just bobbles in front. But great run, power from Callum McGregor.
Celtic 2, RB Leipzig 1, 49.5 minutes played as Kuhn just thinks it forward, but Shuabi makes a mess of his attempted clearance, knocks it off Johnston, but swept away forward, looking for Openda, who is waved to his feet by the referee after Kuhn came back to get the challenge in. He's absolutely everywhere at the moment, Nicholas Kuhn. it's incredible, Pat, when you see a player playing with such confidence that they feel they can just about do anything at all on a football field.
There are certain days and certain evenings where it's just easy. Everything comes easy. You're aware of everything. You're playing with that confidence, and everybody believes in you as well, so you're getting lots of the ball, which helps.
I'm still waiting for that day, but it'll come one of these days, I'm sure of it. Throw into RB Leipzig, far side, their left. Campbell. Now it's Orban. Shuabi, who has looked uncomfortable at times, particularly when he's been harried and harassed by that bustling Celtic front line. Free kick has gone RB Leipzig's way inside the Celtic half.
I will say one thing about Celtic here. I think half-time actually came at a terrible time, because they were right on top, controlling the game, so confident. Come out in the second half here, Celtic haven't really been out of their half yet. We're 5 minutes into it, so it's trying to get a little bit more control. Apart from that one run by McGregor, other than that, it's been controlled without being ultra dangerous by the opposition.
We have this free kick about 20 yards inside Celtic territory, just a few yards in off the left, to be taken by Kevin Campbell. Celtic holding a line about 10 yards outside their own penalty box as it's played short. And RB Leipzig then just flighted in towards the back post. Orban into the 6-yard box. It wasn't a good knockdown header, really easily taken by Kasper Schmeichel before any RB Leipzig players could get onto it. It was a good opportunity for Orban to try and find a teammate, because he had drifted off the back, but couldn't get the direction on the header. Back with Schmeichel, and it's still Celtic 2, RB Leipzig 1. Forward comes Celtic, but it's given away, and Šeško picks up. Forward for Openda, tracked by Carter Vickers, ushered away from goal. Still Openda looking to hold off Carter Vickers. Eventually he comes through Openda. The assistant's watching that, and then he fouls. Openda fouls Carter Vickers. Well, I have to say, I think Openda should have had a free kick long before that.
Absolutely. Carter Vickers has just steamrolled through the back of him. No doubt it's a foul. He doesn't get it, and then Openda's, you're always going to get a reaction. Carter Vickers knows it. He barely touches him. Carter Vickers hits the deck, gets the foul. He just ran straight through the back of him there.
You know, as a centre back, don't you just love that? You basically had a free hit there. You leveled him right through him, right in front of the assistant referee. Got nothing for it. I don't think those RB Leipzig fans sitting right in front of it agreed with the referee there.
Marco Rosa certainly didn't. He was losing the plot down there with the fourth official. But anyway, RB do have it back just now. 53 played. Celtic still leading by 2-1. Scoreline that would take them on to 7 points after 4 games if they were able to hold on to it. A lot of football to be played yet. Doubt we've seen the last of the goals as Engels clips it forward. Kuhn will go and keep it in at the very least down that right hand side. Tucks it back the way to Johnson. Johnson helps it back once more to Engels. Engels into Hatate, 25 yards from goal, feigns to shoot. Now he might shoot. Hatate just wide. Oh, some of the crowd to our left thought that was it as it came back off the hoardings and hit the back of the net. But unfortunately for them, it was on the outside, having hit the advertising hoardings, flying just wide from Hatate. Excellent move again from Celtic, but it's still Celtic 2, RB Leipzig 1.
I think that should have been a corner kick. I think that's taking the deflection in the way by there. Brilliant play by Hatate. Gets into a great position, and we all know he's capable from there.
Carter Vickers now doing battle with Šeško, and he comes out on top. And Šeško frustrated there, the big man. As nothing seems to be going RB Leipzig's way all of a sudden.
Šeško and Openda both turned around, look at the midfield and ask them where they are, because they've gone and chased it up the line, taking on Trusty and Carter Vickers, and they're expecting their teammates to be up behind them, and they're not. Carter Vickers shows great strength and awareness to play that inside.
Here's Taylor, midway inside his own half, plays it into Callum McGregor. Back with Trusty, edge of his box. Carter Vickers now picks up. Closed down by Baumgartner, gets the pass off to Johnston, who's quickly closed down though by Noosa. Noosa's dispossessed him, edge of the box, touches it back to Baumgartner. This could be costly for Celtic. Back to Noosa once more, left hand side of the box, curls it into the back post. Schmeichel's toiling, Trusty with a brilliant header to get it clear, and Maida helps it away to relieve the danger there, because all of a sudden Celtic were in trouble after Johnston lost it to Noosa on the edge of the box. Here come RB Leipzig once more. It's Campbell out to the left-hand side, trying to build up a head of steam here. Here comes Heinrichs. Heinrichs now floats to the back post. Hatate just got underneath that, but manages to flick it behind. It will be an RB Leipzig corner, right-hand side. 55 on the clock. Celtic 2, RB Leipzig 1. And one thing Celtic simply can't afford to do for the remaining time in this game is invite this pressure for the 35 minutes are left.
No, and it comes from Alistair Johnson taking that chance in and around his own box, but you're right, they can't. There's a couple of crosses now, clearly targeting that back post area behind Trusty. It's Hatate that does get back to it, but they can't be giving up any encouragement to RB Leipzig, because they've played so well, Celtic. They don't want to, they're a good side, you don't want to give them any, easy opportunities.
Campbell, right-hand side, outswinger, but Shuabi gets his head to it, comes off the back of a Penda, I think, in the end, and scoops up over the top of the crossbar. A free kick had already been given by the referee, which Kasper Schmeichel tried to take quickly. The referee wants it taken again. Celtic fans not happy, but it was cut out in any case, so they get a second bite at it.
The referee's giving the old excuse of putting his finger in his ear saying, I'm checking something. Yeah, right.
He'd given a foul, hadn't he?
Exactly.
I think. But it didn't come off a Penda. It was Bitshiabo headed onto his shoulder. It was a terrible header.
Yeah, it wasn't a good one at all. Celtic 2, RB Leipzig 1, 56 played as Hatate picks up inside his own half. Misplays pass though out to the right hand side. Celtic don't want those to start creeping back into their play, as it did for a period in the first half as they began to come under pressure and lost the opening goal. And they looked rattled for a period, but boy did they come back to lead now by 2-1. 2 goals from Nicolas Kuhn before the interval, as Orban plays it back to his goalkeeper, fellow Hungarian. Both played against Scotland at the Euros. Less said about that, the better. As Campbell now has it, back with Gulacsi. And out to Orban. Out to this right-hand side now for Geertruida. Maida trying to get back at him, manages to do so. Here is Geertruida, though, still in possession. Plays it back in field. And now it's Haidara for Campbell. Penda's out on this right-hand side, and that's where the ball is aimed from Campbell, almost at the byline. It's Penda up against Taylor, feigns to cross, then goes back the way to Geertruida. One touch and then swings it in towards the back post. Up rises Heinrichs at the back post, but can't find a teammate. Celtic bring it clear, and it's Nicolas Kuhn. Celtic looking to counter dangerously here. Heinrichs makes the challenge, took the ball, says the referee, as Kuhn goes down, and then eventually the referee's blown for...
I think he has blown. No, he hasn't blown. He just let him carry on, but Leipzig didn't want to carry on there. That was a real opportunity for Celtic there. They didn't make the best of it.
Yeah, Kuhn's overrun it. I think it is a good challenge. I don't think it is a foul, but his momentum's taking him into, I think it's Heinrichs that's down. But as soon as he was caught, he's had a go at Kyogo. He wants him to make a run. Kyogo peels away. He wants him to make a run. He peel away and come across the face so he can play that curl pass into his path. And it must be the first time ever playing for Celtic that someone's asking Kyogo to make a move, because he is normally non-stop, and he's maybe just made the wrong one, but I don't know if he's trying to just clear the space or make it easier for Kuhn just to play it into his path. Kuhn wants to play it in front of him and behind. Kyogo peels away instead of making that run across towards the right hand side.
Here's one thing, Alistair, that watching Celtic in the second half, a bit more risk averse. There are certain passes that in the first half, or in any domestic game, they will take a chance. They will play it. Much more risk averse here. There's a ball on, it's the right ball, but it's a tiny risk, they won't take it. Is that being a bit scared, or is that being absolutely sensible in a situation? I suspect it's the latter.
Yeah.
Well, they've had criticism before about managing the game and not getting emotional, particularly in the bigger ones like this on the European stage. So I think it's sensible. They did it through that tough period in the first half where they weren't taking so many risks. They were, getting comfortable possession, waiting for the opportunities, and they eventually did come.
Heinrichs is back on his feet and off the field of play as Celtic take the throw. It was eventually knocked out of play to allow Heinrichs to get treatment after, I think it was Kuhn clattered into him as he went down. And the fullback returns to his position. The ball's back with Peter Galacci. We've now played an hour of football at Celtic Park, and it's Celtic 2, RB Leipzig 1 in this Champions League match as Baumgartner tries to bound down the left, looking to feed Openda, but he can't bring it under control. Haven't been overly impressed with him so far, touch wood, as Carter Vickers gets it back, and now it's Taylor down the left hand side up towards Maida nods it down, but only to Haidara. Gertruda battling away there to try and keep possession. Hatate was having a little tug at him, the referee spotted it and now gives the free kick to RB Leipzig. Midway inside the Celtic half, right hand side, an opportunity for them to load the box again with the likes of Šeško and Bichuabi up from the back.
Just from this position here, if I'm Leipzig, I actually want a left footer and I want to put it into that 6-yard area, because Schmeichel's, he's a great goalkeeper inside the 6-yard, but he's come for nothing so far tonight. Well, maybe one punch, but that's the danger area for Celtic, I think.
Campbell, though, the right footer, will take this one, so slightly swing away from goal eventually, you'd imagine, once it goes into the penalty area. Right hand side then, Campbell, as Celtic hold the line at the 18-yard box, and it comes. It's a good ball, but it's well over the top as the offside flag goes up in any event against Bichuabu. It's Haidara, I think, who got his head to it in the end, but the flag was up as there's activity on the visitor bench. Yusuf Poulsen is stripped, RB Leipzig legend, as Arne Engels now crosses the halfway line. He just took a nudge there from Šeško, and it's a yellow card for the Slovenian, who hasn't had a happy evening at all in Glasgow. And you have to give the Celtic rearguard real credit for the way they've kept Šeško and Openda quiet so far.
Yeah, I mean, big talk coming into the game. They've been well aware of their strengths. Šeško's, highly coveted, highly rated striker, and they've managed to so far keep them really quiet. Šeško had a chance at a shot in the first half. Apart from that, he's not really done too much. But players of that quality, you can't think their job's done. As long as they're on the pitch, they'll always be dangerous.
Celtic free kick. Engels takes it out to the right hand side to Kuhn. Kuhn about 15 yards from the byline, then crossed in from the right hand side. Kyogo will retrieve it. Kyogo back the way to Hatate, midway inside his own half, the RB Leipzig half. Back to Johnston, plays it to McGregor. McGregor about 10 yards inside opposition territory, rolls it back to Hatate. Hatate out to the left hand side to Trusty, midway inside RB half. Poor ball for Maida, but he does well to keep it in, does him a favour there. And back to Hatate once more as Celtic just enjoy a little possession. It's going to be Elif Elmas, the other player to come on, along with Yusuf Poulsen, as Niklas Kuhn was just caught in his heels there rather, and RB Leipzig have possession back over on the far side. 63 played, Celtic 2, RB Leipzig 1. No goals in this second period, and no real threat actually for either goalkeeper as yet. There could be one here for Kasper Schmeichel as it comes to Šeško just outside there. Curler, good save, Schmeichel. First test for him from Šeško, and he was up to it, diving away to his right to ensure it didn't find the back of the net. No equaliser, and here's Kyogo at the other end, pouncing on a poor touch from Heinrichs. Heinrichs has got back at him. Kyogo tries to just clip it into the area, but back goes Haidara, and RB Leipzig have it back. Heinrichs helps it on. Engels, though, manages to allow that ball to go through to Callum McGregor, and now it's Greg Taylor just inside RB Leipzig half, finding McGregor in a bit of room in the left hand side. Out comes Campbell to close him down. Taylor's still in support, but McGregor goes back the way to Trusty. Trusty, I'm not sure, wanted that pass as it bounced just in front of him, but Openda, although he tried to close him down, couldn't prevent him getting it back to Kasper Schmeichel. Still 2-1 then after that good save from Kasper Schmeichel to keep out Benjamin Šeško, who might be about to be replaced. We'll see who Yusuf Poulsen's going to come on for. As Celtic have it at the back through Trusty. Plays it square to Carter Vickers and back again with Trusty midway inside his own half. 64.5 played, 2-1 Celtic lead. As Taylor gets out to Hatate on the halfway line left hand side. Taylor once more, back to Trusty. RB trying to close Celtic down, but being frustrated just at the moment as Schmeichel gets it to Taylor. Taylor in field for Hatate. Good football from Celtic. Now McGregor. McGregor out to the right hand side to Johnson, just crossing the halfway line, and now out to Kuhn right hand side to attack Heinrichs on that right. Into the penalty area he comes, dancing away from a couple of challenges. Hatate saved by Gulacsi, and out for a corner kick out on the far side as Celtic threaten a third.
How good was that? I never counted the passes, but we can go back and do it. But such composure, patience, waiting for that opportunity to get Nicholas Kuhn 1v1. And when he cuts inside, Hatate with the shot, and that's the reward, and not forcing it and waiting for your opportunity.
Celtic going to make a couple of changes as well. Paulo Bernardo and Alex Valle going to be asked to bring that little bit more energy to the Celtic performance for the closing 25 minutes. So a double change apiece to come, but not before this corner from Arne Engels, right hand side for Celtic. They lead by 2-1 the home side. Engels in from the right, into the near post, met by Trusty in there. He got a connection, but he couldn't get a clean connection to knock it goalwards, and it's cleared away by the RB defence. But here's Kuhn once more to return it, and it comes away by Chiabu. McGregor will go and try and get the scraps. He's done brilliantly, McGregor, to win that 50-50. Engels into the box, away by Gulacsi, unconvincingly from the defence though, and eventually up towards the halfway line. Carter Vickers underneath it. Poor header from him. Knocked down by Nusat, but only to Nicholas Kuhn. Still the four substitutes wait to come on as Engels picks up once more right hand side into Hatate, who was denied just a few moments ago by Gulacsi. He finds Kuhn. Kuhn slides it forward for Engels. Engels cuts it back. Kyogo scoops over the top, and it will remain with 66.5 played. Celtic 2, RB Leipzig 1.
You know, that Paddy was talking about the brilliant move there. That all came from Celtic playing out from the back about 3 minutes ago, and the opposition looked tired. And from that, Celtic have just thought, right, they're going a little bit now, and the passing has been magnificent since then. Absolutely brilliant done by Celtic. Got themselves back on the front foot just in the second half. No wonder Leipzig are making a couple of changes as well as Celtic.
Yeah, it's Taylor and Engels who are being replaced for Celtic, with Baye and Bernardo coming on, and it is Šeško who's been replaced by Poulsen, and the other player coming off for the visitors is Antonio Nusa, the Norwegian winger, who hasn't produced all that much, you'd have to say. He will be replaced by the North Macedonian Eliev Elmas. So a couple of changes apiece. Let's see how that changes things. Essentially for Celtic, it's like for like. As Haidara picks up for RB Leipzig, feeds it forward for Poulsen. Poulsen, a different challenge here for Carter Vickers, and he's immediately lost out, but Poulsen's done well. He's got himself back on his feet to win it back, and now it's played forward for Openda, trying to spin away from Trusty. Brilliant challenge, just as it looked like the Belgian might get away from Trusty. Trusty made sure of the challenge, and then the pass from Bernardo down the left for Maida. Maida with the early ball into the box, over the keeper, but Kyogo will go and keep that in, manages to get it back to Kuhn. Right hand side is Nicholas Kuhn, away from Campbell, into the box he comes and plays it off Chiabu, and a Celtic corner. Brendan Rodgers applauds, as does most of Celtic Park.
Brilliant again, start to finish. Trusty does excellent against Openda. It looks like he's going to get inside him. Great strength, plays it off to Bernardo, who's driving towards this left hand side, outside of the boot, down the line for Maida. Kyogo's made the run, can't get on the end of it, but they keep it alive, and Kuhn does really well to get the corner,
which will be taken on the right hand side by Paulo Bernardo into the near post, away by Poulsen. As far as McGregor couldn't quite keep the shot down as he got the control of the ball, but it was always rising as he eventually met it with the left boot. I wonder if Liam Scales is going to get the shout for the closing 20 minutes or thereabouts. He's just been called back from his warm-up, probably to replace Austin Trusty took that early ankle knock. Has played well, not least that challenge that Paddy's just talking about there just a moment ago on Openda, as Kyogo picks up, just plays the ball behind Nicholas Kuhn, allows Henriks to pick up possession midway inside his own half. Well, an interesting final 20 minutes to come. Celtic, as Pat was saying, probably that little bit more pragmatic in this second period, absolutely rightly so, cannot fault them for that whatsoever, having done a lot of hard work in the first period. But here's Openda slipping it through, looking for Poulsen. Sliding challenge comes in from Johnston, breaks back to Campbell. Campbell feeds it in onto Baumgartner, and saved, turned around the post by Kasper Schmeichel. I wonder if he might have been offside, but the flag didn't come, and Schmeichel has to turn that round the post for an RB Leipzig corner. Still Celtic 2, RB 1.
Right, so Celtic have got a very different problem now. Sesko and Openda, they are two centre forwards, but they never seem to play together. They never ever link. I've watched Poulsen and Openda play together. They link up, they work together, they look like a couple of good mates. This could be more dangerous.
Corner from the right hand side to be taken by Campbell, not before the referee has another go at sorting things out just outside just inside the 6-yard box. Paulo Bernardo being spoken to. I think it's Baumgartner, the goal scorer, the opening goal at that back post, lurking once more to try and cause more problems to Celtic.
Needs to be careful, Bernardo, he's got his arms all round him.
And now Poulsen goes down off the ball with Trusty trying to track his running. In comes the corner, into the near post. Kyogo meets it. Hatate helps it away, and up to the halfway line comes Celtic. Alex Bailly trying to get on the end of that. Across comes Henriks, though, turns away from him and tries to play it down the right hand side. Campbell's surely got to be offside as he turns it back infield. That's Elmas, actually, the other bleach blonde player. But Celtic win it in any event. Callum McGregor coming away with possession, has to turn back the way to Johnston, which he does calmly, who in turn finds Bailly out to the left hand side for Hatate. Closed down by Haidara, but finds a pass for Bernardo on to Johnston, crossing the halfway line out to the right hand side to Kuhn. Liam Scales is stripped and ready to come on. There's another Celtic player also going to come on as Johnston gets to the byline, into the bump, not dealt with. That's in! It's Hatate! It's Gulaci providing it on a plate for Reo Hatate! And a grateful gift, gleefully taken by the Japanese midfielder as he makes it Celtic 3, RB Leipzig 1.
You know what? Callum McGregor in the midfield there, holding the ball, dragging players aside, making this gigantic space in the midfield. And when good players have got space, they make good use of it. Celtic did that. God, the keeper did him a favour. He's done much better, but he's put under pressure. 3-1 up, and I would say deserved.
Sensational. You're absolutely spot on. Callum McGregor, he knows that there's nothing much he can do apart from keep a hold of the ball and make sure he doesn't give away an opportunity to RB Leipzig. He plays it back to Gartner Vickers, forward to Bernardo, and then Celtic are on the break. And the run for Alistair Johnston is exceptional because he's played about a 30-yard pass to Nicholas Kuhn. He's made then the overlap. The timing of the run, the timing of the pass, the way to pass is what creates that opportunity. Goalkeeper makes a mess of it. Hatate's the right place to put it into the back of net as the double goal scorer comes off. What a goal again.
Yeah, phenomenal. Reo Hatate gleefully accepting that gift from Peter Gulaci, who has by all accounts been outstanding for RB Leipzig at the start of this season, but they are facing another Champions League defeat, 4-4, as Celtic have gone 2 goals clear, and yet again RB Leipzig, having been in front, find themselves trailing now by 3-1. And as things stand, with just over 15 to play, Celtic are going to have come from behind for the very first time to win a Champions League game. And what a turnaround it's been, as Johnston's ball into the box. Yeah, it was a difficult enough one to deal with, but Gulaci, goalkeeper of his experience and quality, should be gobbling that up. Instead he spilled it right to Hatate, who from a tight angle knocked it into the back of the net, catching me and just about the rest of Celtic Park by surprise as he made it 3-1. And Celtic on the verge of a famous victory, but it's not over yet. Cameron Carter-Vickers was actually the player who was replaced by Liam Scales, and Kuhn, as James said, was replaced by Yang. As Schmeichel gets out to Baye, left-hand side. Baye was caught there. He got the ball away, and the referee's going to bring it back because Celtic gave up possession, but Baye was fouled prior to that. And Celtic will have a free kick. And now with just over 15 to play, it very much is about game management here.
Absolutely. Celtic have been in control this second half. RB Leipzig have had their moments, but they've used the ball brilliantly. They've been patient, they've went from side to side. There's chances maybe to go forward, and look, they've made mistakes. They've not got it absolutely perfect, but their use of the ball and their bravery to take the ball has been outstanding, particularly the man on the ball at the minute, Callum McGregor, dictating what's happening when it goes forward, the pace and tempo of the game. It's been a really strong performance.
Well, as the Celtic fans turn their backs on proceedings to do the Poznan, their side break down the left-hand side, but they've lost out. But Baumgartner can't keep it in play. It'll be a Celtic throw-in. There's going to be a double change here coming for the visitors, as Baumgartner is replaced by Asan Ouedraogo. And the other change coming will be Nicolas Seawald on in the middle of the park for Amadou Haidara.
Desperation stakes, isn't it? They're trying absolutely everything just now. And the fact that midfield has now been beaten, you understand why he's taking players off. They just aren't getting close anymore. Haidara, very good player, but he's absolutely dominated tonight by Callum McGregor.
High in the air is substitute Ouedraogo tries to get onto it, but Celtic have won it back. Baye can't find a teammate. Ouedraogo looking to try and keep a hold of it, but again he can't do that either. It's all become a little bit scrappy, and in all honesty that'll suit Celtic just at the moment, and they won themselves a free kick which will suit them even better. Any chance to tick down the clock now as Rod Stewart looks like he's taken his leave. I'm sure he's enjoyed himself. Most inside Celtic Park have over the course of this evening.
Might just need the toilet out.
He's getting on
it. He's taking his leave one way or the other. Here's Bernardo. Into the penalty area comes Gulaci, an easy take for him, not a good delivery that time from Paulo Bernardo. And Celtic with 13 to play continue to lead by 3-1. This would be a genuinely momentous victory if Celtic were able to hold on to it without wishing to tempt fate. There's absolutely nothing at the moment, Pat, that suggests that RB Leipzig have it within them.
I would say one thing though, Celtic have worked so hard. Every single player there has put in one hell of a shift. And I'm looking at some of the players out there. Kyogo, how long can he keep on going? Can Maeda keep on going at that level? Can Hatate keep on going at that level? Because they've given it everything. It gets harder and harder and harder as the game goes on.
RB have it then, out on the right-hand side. Gertruda just outside the penalty, a good curling ball. And it wasn't a bad ball in for Ouedraogo, but he heads well over the top. It's a good ball, and he met it about 8 yards out. And again, should at least be troubling Kasper Schmeichel there.
Happy that didn't land at Sesko's head. If he's still been on, or even a defender. That was a very good ball, and maybe half a foot behind him where he would like it to have been, but it's a half a chance for Leipzig.
12 left of the 90. Celtic 3, RB Leipzig 1. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Sports Extra. Brilliant play from Hatate, great skill, and now he releases Kyogo. Kyogo into the penalty area, cuts it across goal, looking for Maeda. Good sliding challenge there from Gertruda to clear the danger. That was almost a classic counter-attacking goal from Celtic.
We've saw some magnificent things tonight. If that ball had nestled in the back of the net, that would have topped it. Hatate in the middle of the park, little nutmeg, early pass for Kyogo. Maeda's actually outside him, but he recognises Kyogo's going to get on the end there. And then you're wondering, has Kyogo seen the run from Maeda? He did, and he's just unfortunate. It's a great clearance in the end, but sensational play again.
But if anyone saw pass by Cole Palmer the other week. Yeah, same thing.
Here is Paulo Bernardo, left-hand side with the corner into the near post. Liam Scales attacking it, couldn't quite get anything on it, but it comes out to Yang and then back to Bernardo, left-hand side, almost back at the corner flag. Yang once more, left-hand side. Back to Callum McGregor it goes. Celtic shuffle it back into the centre circle. Johnston back to McGregor and then back out to the left-hand side to Yang. Up against Ouedraogo. Shows him a clean pair of heels before nudging it back the way to Johnston. 35 yards from goal. Now Hatate. No rush here from Celtic, as RB Leipzig can't get close to them. Baye back with Scales. This has been one of the most mature performances from a Celtic side in Europe for many a long year. Not only with the guts and determination to come from a goal behind, but the skill and class to go 3-1 up, but also the cool heads to keep the ball under great pressure. And now they have manufactured another opportunity. Hatate goes for goal once more, wide a goal this time from about 25 yards out as Aramida prepares to come on for Celtic. And Andre Silva, the man who got 2 against Celtic out in Leipzig a couple of years back, and it will be Ida for Kyogo, and Celtic Park rises to acclaim Kyogo's efforts in the 80 minutes that he's been on the park as he leaves with the scoreline. Celtic 3, RB Leipzig 1.
No wonder. Oh, as we know, willing runner, he'll run all day long, he'll always make movements, and it's just, he's been part of what has been an outstanding team performance from Celtic, particularly the second half. You're getting to see them knocking the ball about, cutting RB Leipzig open. Few sticky spells in the first half, but they've always been available. The players have stood up to it, showed great character. And this is what I'm talking about with Celtic and the options they have now. They're bringing subs on now that are not weakening the side. They're just adding to what's already there. He does a different proposition, that physicality, but he's still willing to make those runs in behind. And normally what happens is Kyogo does an endless amount of running, barely gets a sniff at a chance. Ida comes on, gets his first touch, and it's a chance at goal. We'll be hoping for more of the same for that.
81.5 plays. Celtic 3, RB Leipzig 1 as Andre Silva replaces Luis Openda. And both he and Šeško have departed the scene without making all that much of an impact, and great credit has to go to the Celtic defence for that. As RB have it at the back, it's Orban for Gertruda, through the legs of Maida. Good skill there from Ouedraogo to step away from Maida once more and then play it back in field for Campbell. Campbell out to the left-hand side. RB Leipzig not giving this up yet. They really need something from this game if they are to retain any hopes of Champions League progress, but 0 points from 4 games leaves them a lot of work to do, particularly given they've got to go to Milan to play Inter next. And they've got Villa at home, which is going to be no easy task either. But here they are, an opportunity potentially, but Baye stepping in ahead of Andre Silva to chest it back to Kasper Schmeichel, and then to take the ball back off the Dane as he comes forward. Now Gertruda's gone down, a stoppage in play. Celtic won't mind that.
No, they won't, but RB Leipzig will. I think they've made all the subs. He's holding his hamstring, so it's not been a great night for them. And if he can't carry on, whether it's, I mean, this looks like stretching as if it's cramped. But
do you know what? See, that's a massive feather in the cap of Glasgow Celtic tonight. If you've ran them into the ground, that they've run out of players and they're having cramp and they can't keep up with you. They're known as a team that plays with high tempo, RB. They're known as a high pressing team. Well, they've been second best in both of them.
He wants off as well. Yeah. As soon as he done it, he signalled to the bench that he wanted off. They're obviously telling him, look, use the subs, you need to stay on.
Well, just have to go, Hein.
He's having a conversation just now with Marco Rosa, but I think that's exactly what he's explaining to the defender. You're either staying on for the last 7 or we're down to 10 men. So either way, this does not look like an RB Leipzig side that has got a comeback in them, as Celtic continue to lead by 3-1 with 6.5 of the 90 to play. I think he's making a case that he's done. And Marco Rosa taking the advice of the fitness coaches there not to risk him, and so RB are down to 10 for the final few minutes here. That's music to the ears of Celtic, who will look to just see this game out, or perhaps they won't just see it out, perhaps they'll add to their lead.
I can imagine now Cal McGregor's just going to run this, isn't he? He's going to get the ball in the midfield all the time. There's an extra man, there's lots of space. If he can just run the legs out of them chasing the ball here, he'll do that.
Alistair Johnston forward for Bernardo. Bernardo tries to play it round the corner for Yang, who just slips, but the ball was going to be too much for him anyway. It's out play over on the far side for an RB Leipzig throw-in. 5.5 to play. Celtic on the verge of an absolutely historic and monumental victory, as RB have it. Right back position, although they're playing technically without a right back now that Gertruda's going off. Paulson tries to help it on, can't do so. Scales steps in, finds McGregor. McGregor just nudges it back to Bernardo, and there is all that more space now that RB have a man fewer, and it's out with the Yang right hand side. A couple of step overs away from Heinrichs, and Heinrichs manages eventually to get the block in the attempted cross, but Shuabu gets it clear. Paulson though can't get the better of Scales, and McGregor just lobs it out to Yang. Yang back to McGregor, and Yang once more. The Korean makes triangles between Ian, Bernardo and Yang, and now it's Ida on the edge of the box, plays it back to Yang, who goes for goal, but who's just leaning back, and it's just off target from the young man. But good play again from Celtic. So much to admire about their play over the course of this evening. 3-1.
Come on, good play. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. The zippy one-touch triangle play there. That is lightning. They are towering at the moment.
They're enjoying themselves, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
You can see with that there. Touch, movement. And Yang, his eyes lit up. It's 20-25 yards, but great play to lead up to that opportunity.
You go back to the half-hour mark. Celtic trailing by 1-0. Big chance for Nusa to make it 2-0. If you had told anyone at that stage that Celtic would win this by 3-1, you know, I mean, at that stage they were absolutely rocking. Remember?
Yeah, they were in trouble because they couldn't clear the box. They couldn't get a hold of the ball. They couldn't knock any pass. I said at the time, I remember, it'd be good if they could, you know, string a couple of passes together. But Callum McGregor at the heart of it showed the composure, the leadership to take control of the game and slowly build themselves back into it.
Here's Maida down the left-hand side. Ida making his way into the penalty area. No real rush for Celtic to get it in there, but you fancy they'll do it at some stage. But they've gone back the way for the moment as McGregor finds Scales, and then square for Trusty, who's done well to get through almost 90 after that early ankle knock. And he's done it pretty comfortably, marshalling a couple of real big threats who've since left the field of play. Oh, there's a young Celtic fan made his way onto the field of play, which I'm sure she's delighted. He's giving Kasper Schmeichel a hug, who's now he's going to try and evade the stewards. He'll do well. A little bit 8 or 9 years old or something like that, but
that's a very young pitch invader this thing.
You know, he's been urged off by the stewards, and the assistant referees grabbed him. Spoil sport. Anyway, not the best, but no harm done in the end. And 2.5 left of the 90. Play will resume with Celtic leading by 3-1.
Celtic were in a great position to attack there as well. It's just stopped the whole momentum. Swift Yang, I think, was 1v1 up that right hand side.
Back with Trusty now. Sorry, Pat, on you go.
Well, the good news is he didn't have a camera phone with him, so it wasn't an influencer trying to get some notice.
No, and he's probably too young to be arrested as well. So anyway, it's back with Schmeichel. 2 minutes to play. Celtic leading by 3-1. Cannot overstate what a terrific Champions League performance this has been. Right up with Celtic's best ever, I would wager. And certainly in modern times, it's going to be a huge achievement, a real marquee scalp to take this of RB Leipzig, second in the Bundesliga, perennial European qualifiers for the knockout stages, and Celtic have come from behind to beat them. and deservedly so.
I think as well, when you look at the Red Bull model of what they're looking for in their teams, you know, high pressure, they play that 4-4-2, the variations, it's 4-2-2-2 or the 4-4-2, but it's generally the two strikers, and they want to put you under pressure and force mistakes. And at times it worked for them, and at times they forced the errors, and the pressure was good. But Celtic have played their way through that and dominated this second half. They've got an extra man now, they've got 2-goal cushion. It is easy for them now, but the way they've gained the control throughout that first half into the second half is probably the most impressive part, because they didn't panic, they've not changed, and they've continued to play, and they've played their way, and they've come in for criticism at times for it.
When it comes to the Celtic box, but Drago won't keep that in, behind for a goal kick. We're into the final minute of the 90. We just wait to see, I think going to be 5 minutes of added on time that the fourth official will display in just a few seconds time. And there have been so many things to admire about this Celtic performance. I'm going to be speaking to Brendan Rodgers in the news conference in the next hour.
Can I make a suggestion about that news conference?
You can.
He will use the word pride or proud within 2 minutes of the start of it. He should be really proud of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to ask him, you know, what of everything out there tonight, of all the many things to admire, what makes him happiest? Because there's, I mean, you could give any number of answers to that for me, because there's so many things that have been impressive about Celtic.
They stuck with it. They stuck with how they want to play, and they've gained so much control within that. Sticky moments, as we said in the first half, and they were always going to be put under pressure, particularly defensively from set plays. RB Leipzig had that spell where it was corner after corner and Celtic couldn't get out, and they've managed to ride that out, and they've done it their way. They've not changed, they've kept the belief and kept using the ball. They've had a threat going in behind, they've had a threat, you know, with the speed that they have. The goals they've scored have been outstanding, but the amount of control they've had in this game has been unbelievable against a team that's sitting second in the Bundesliga. Bear in mind, you know, we speak about it often enough, 7-1 Celtic lost to Dortmund.
Yeah,
they're above them in the league.
Correct. Here they come against Celtic, and it's a corner kick on the right hand side as they look to finish this game in even greater style, leading by 3-1 into injury time. What a night it has been for those who have turned out at Celtic Park, as Bernardo prepares to take from the right hand side. Celtic still got plenty of bodies into that penalty area as they look for a fourth goal. Scales gets something on it, comes to Hatate, oh, he slices it so far wide, almost hits the corner flag from about 10 yards out. A player of his quality who's already on the score sheet could well have been on it again there.
Well, it's so dangerous from corner kicks now. I do admire Scales. He attacks absolutely everything, and says he come on. I'd argue he's probably the best of the three Celtic centre-backs that they use on the ball and passing the ball out. I love him. Never ever in any way spooked at all, and that really helps in these situations.
Ball's played forward, but Scales has read that, and it'll be picked up by Bernardo. Forward for Hatate, tries to poke it into Yang. Yang won't get there as Bikshuabu is, and now it's Heinrichs forward looking for Poulsen. Just manages to get ahead of Scales in the jump, but McGregor first to the second ball, picked up by Campbell. Now it's back with Drago trying to drive at that Celtic backline, but a lovely bit of skill from Yang, moves away, and he's brought to the ground by Elmas and wins his side a free kick about 15 yards inside his own half. And Callum McGregor's already taken it. No hint of slowing things down from the Celtic captain as Celtic look to exploit 10-man RB Leipzig. Ida for Johnson, stands up to the back post. Maida will go and attack it. Neither he nor his marker can get onto it. Baye will pick up though this left-hand side, brings it back the way into Hatate now, inside the area, goes for goal, charged down by Orban, knocked away by Seawald, and then out for a throw into Celtic. And Brendan Rodgers rallies the crowd for the final few seconds here at Celtic Park. What an evening it has been. Alex by over this throw-in down near the corner flag for Celtic. Quite happy to keep it down there now as Aramida just fails to keep the ball in play, but he's got another throw-in. Came off an RB player last, and Leipzig players just desperate to get down that tunnel now. They have had a chastening evening themselves. They would not have expected this turnaround, having gone a goal up at Celtic Park and looking on top, but they did not reckon with a Celtic performance of this magnitude as Scales is brought to the ground there. The crude challenge from Powellson. Referees allow play to continue. Scales not happy. Trusty has it though, and he plays it to Johnston. Johnston out to the right hand side to Yang. Yang up against Heinrichs, back in field to Johnston, 20 yards from goal, slides it into Hattati. Hattati across goal, and it's in! Maida flags up. Flag is up to deny Celtic a fourth goal as Hattati played it for Maida. There will be a check, of course, by the French officials, but Celtic don't quite have the icing on the cake just at the moment. As the flag went up to deny Dyson Maida, it would have been another fabulous goal.
A sensational pass from Alistair Johnston. Find that run, we're so used to seeing from inside to just the inside channel from Hattati.
Goal is disallowed, but it matters not because it's full time. Remember the 5th of November at Celtic Park, because Celtic, for the very first time in the Champions League, came from a goal down to turn this one around and win a Champions League match in great style against the German giants of RB Leipzig. Two magnificent goals from Nicholas Kuhn, added to in the second half by Rio Hattati. It has been a night of fireworks and then some at Celtic Park, where it finishes Celtic 3, RB Leipzig 1.
Celtic in the Champions League.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.